Hello everyone and welcome to another self-growth video. Today I would like to speak about how a good attitude changes your life for the better. So I would like to speak about a few subjects. First, what a good attitude really means, why a good attitude is so important, and the situations where attitude matters most. So we'll start in just a minute, but first, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe and help us grow this channel and share to other people and let them know about this channel also. Thank you very much. And let's get started. So what a good attitude really means. So a good attitude is not pretending everything is different than what it is. You still, the reality is the reality, but you see it from a good perspective. Everyone sees life from a different lens, and you could choose if that individual lens that you see life in is a good attitude, a lens with a good attitude, or a lens with a bad attitude. So that's the importance over here. And um, and I'll quote you something interesting over here. So I can't, and this is important. I can't always control what happens to me, but I can control how I respond. And not only that, it's not like, oh, this I can't control, so don't worry about it, but this I could control, so worry about it. But it's more than that. It's by controlling how you respond or your attitude, you'll ultimately help change the rest of your life and control other aspects about your life. It's not like you're just on a complete ride and you won't be able to control any of them, and therefore just have a good attitude. Rather, a good attitude will help you control parts of the ride. Of course, not everything. At the end of the day, Hashem decides, but that's the idea. So why a good attitude is so important. So it determines how you experience life. As I mentioned, two different people see life in two different lenses, but we could take an example of two different people. One it looks through life in a with a good attitude, and one looks through in life at life through a bad attitude. Now I'll give an example, a personal example. Me and my family. So we had our RV. That's where we're living in an RV, and it got burnt down. So there's one way to look at it, and I'll say I was in between. Sometimes I had a good attitude, sometimes didn't have the best attitude about it. But there's a few ways to look at it. So one way to see it is, oh, this is terrible. We just lost a bunch of money, bunch of possessions, documents, everything. How long is it going to take us to get all of this back? All these things. You know, we're going to have to be calling all these places, get back our passport, get back our documents, everything. Try slowly getting possessions back. We're going to have to get a new place to live. It's a disaster. And why did this happen? Who caused this to happen? How did this happen? Well, and you know, cause a family fight, not only, and like cause, and just be dismal and upset and all of that. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is, we didn't need everything. It's not the end of the world. We didn't need everything we had. We could look at it. What was Hashem telling us over here? Could be we were getting too much into physicality, getting too many possessions. We were relying too much on our own strength and what we do in life, rather thinking what Hashem wants us to do and what Hashem is going to do for us and what Hashem plans for us. And we're getting too much into physicality, and it's not so important. Let's say we're not focusing enough on the kids. That should be more of our focus. That and so on. You could go on. And it's very important to have the attitude. What it's not. At the end of the day, that wasn't too bad. What could we learn from this? What could we learn? Our decision making, what we did wrong in our decision making, maybe getting an RV in the first place. What could potentially go wrong in the future that now we know could potentially go wrong, and therefore will change, and therefore hopefully stabilize our life a little bit better. So that's all of these are. This is a good attitude, and to be happy about it and take advantage of it. To be more with the family, to align our life with our values more, which maybe because we just got so used to life that we didn't do before. To plan a new future for life that we just didn't do because we're getting accustomed to the daily things that we did in life. So it turns obstacles into teachers. It teaches us lessons about life. That's very important. Also, it is the part of life which you control, which I mentioned before. It's not, but this is not like an excuse. Oh, I can't control anything else, so therefore I'm going to control this. But I would like to tell you something from Chazal, from the Gemara, what they say. They say about this. They say Hakol bidei shamayim chutz miyira shamayim. Everything is from heaven except for fear of heaven. So what does that mean? So what I'd like to explain, and I think there's others that explain this also. Everything is by heaven, which means basically everything that happens to you, that's not in your control. Now we could have arguments how much it's in your control, how much it isn't in your control, but let's assume that life is not in your control. You have parts of life that you could control, not everything, but it's not, and then suddenly some chance comes, which is, by the way, God. It's not a chance, but it seems like chance. But chance means Hashem. It's Hashem intervening, who doesn't, maybe not directly, but using his messengers or whatever it is. But a chance comes and it changes what you thought you were controlling in life and all of that. But chutz mir shamayim, except for fear of heaven, you could decide: do I fear heaven or not? And that's the important, the attitude. I fear Hashem. I believe what Hashem does is ultimately good, and it's helping me. And maybe I don't understand now. Maybe it's very painful. Maybe it's very hard. But I should be happy about it because I know that Hashem is good and that he has a reason for this. And try understanding what you did wrong, what you could change, but look at it in a good light. Maybe even see it as something good. And you could always see it in something good, not maybe every aspect about it, but you can make the good the overall part of the tragedy or whatever happened. So it affects everyone around you. So when you have a bad attitude, you make everyone around you also have a bad attitude, see life in a bad light, and all of that. And people don't want to associate with you because people don't like that. It's very toxic. It's very bad. It just makes you all dismal. Why to go through life in a bad way when you have the option of going through life in a good way? And anyway, things happen to good people and bad people. So it doesn't make. So why are you going to go through life and just see it in bad lens when you know it doesn't make a difference? It's not going to help you in any way by looking at life in a bad lens. How is it going to help you? Is there any way that's going to help you? So you complain about the system, but is that going to help you by complaining about the system? Rather do something about the system or whatever it is. It's not going to help you anyway. And not only that, it's going to worsen your life. It's going to make it much worse because, usually when a person's not in a good state, they don't make good decisions. And therefore, when you're in a bad attitude, you're going to make worse decisions. Life is going to become worse for you. It's a domino effect. And vice versa, when you have a good attitude, people want to be around you. It uplifts other people. It changes the atmosphere around you. It changes life around you. It changes people's activities. It changes people's motivation. People have more motivation, and it ultimately so therefore, the fact that you see a good lens already changes life, but it ultimately causes people to actually do things that will make life better in the long run and in the short run. So that's I don't know about the short run, but the long run especially. But anyhow, now situations where attitude matter the most is one during failure. And during failure, it's very important to have a good attitude. Because if you don't have a good attitude, then you might quit. There's a big chance you'll quit. Or you'll blame everyone else, and still you'll probably quit. Or you'll see yourself as a failure. You'll take it too personally, see yourself as a failure, or blame everyone else. It could go in all these directions. But if you have a good attitude during failure, then you don't see this as, well, first of all, you won't take it so personally. You'll see the problems and you'll realize what you did wrong, or you'll try recognizing what you did wrong, but you won't take it too personally, and you'll see the opportunities this failure caused rather than the bad parts. But you'll see the parts that are hard and all of that, you'll see as opportunities to grow and opportunities to change, and you'll use it as a lesson on what you did wrong and what to change. And I would say always these are situations where you could get closer to Hashem. When you realize life is not in your control and things happen not the way you want, then it's a chance to get closer to Hashem and realize that the ultimate creator, the one who is sustaining life and all of that, that's really who you need to connect to. And really the only one that has the real solution. But But yeah, a good attitude is so important for during failure and waiting periods. Also, it's very, very crucial to have a good attitude, because let's say you have a plan for 4 years or 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, and let's say now you're working, you're planning on saving up to buy a house or something like that, and then you're planning up. It's a 5 year plan, and then within 3 years you get very frustrated suddenly. Oh, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm doing a factory job. It's I you feel like it gets very tough, and you feel like I don't know, uh, you feel like breaking something on the ground or whatever it is. You feel, you it gets very hard for you. And when you have a bad attitude, that's very hard to take. Like when you have a good attitude, and now another thing that's important, and this is especially for waiting times, is being in the now. Because when you're in the now, you focus on what you have right now. You focus on yourself, not in a selfish way, but you focus on yourself as like a creation that Hashem created, and like see the good about that all around it, in you and everything else, and see the greatness and all the good that Hashem gave us and all of that. And you that's, I think, the most crucial and important thing in waiting periods, is to focus on the now, and be in the now, focus on the good with a good attitude. Look at how good everything is. Not focus on, oh, we're waiting this long, we only managed to save this amount of money, and we still have that long to go, and whatever it is. That's very important during failure, to have a good attitude. In conflict, very important. And I'll give 2 examples. We have Gidon and Yiftach in Shoftim, in the Navi. Gidon fought with the Midianites, Amalek, and Bnei Kedem, and won them. And he asked Ephraim to help him a little bit at the end, but not too much. And they came to Gidon and said, why it got all upset and wanted to fight with him, because they said, why didn't you call us to fight with Midian? So Gideon answered, it's better what you did than what we did. You managed to capture the 2 ministers of Midian, or the heads of the army or whatever. And basically he appeased them, and that caused them to calm down there. Nothing happened, and it just caused them to separate in peace. But Yiftach, when he fought with, I think, Bnei Ammon and Moab, and he didn't call Ephraim to help him. So Ephraim came afterwards saying, why didn't you call us to help you? We're going to burn your house on fire. And he said, I used to fight with my Ammon all the time, and you didn't come to help me. And he answered with a bad attitude. He didn't try making peace, and that caused ultimately there to be a big war fight. And basically, Yiftach slaughtered a whole bunch of people from Ephraim, tens of thousands. Anyhow, so that tells you the important. That's just a good example of a good attitude during conflict, or a bad attitude during conflict, and that's very important. And the last part is in success. It's also important to have a good attitude. And over here in success, what a good attitude means is to be thankful to Hashem, to be thankful for all the failures that you had that helped you have success. To be thankful for Hashem for giving you the success that you don't deserve by yourself. Not that we don't deserve anything, but we just have to understand that we're beings that are dependent on the mercy of Hashem, and Hashem gave us this success, so we should be happy, rather than seeing it as a personal thing. I managed, which makes it at the end come out that when there's failure, then you come to, it's basically a selfish thing. And when it comes to failure, then you do the opposite. You start saying, oh, it's this problem, it's that problem. You don't take blame for yourself. You're not willing to accept it. But a good attitude means in all situations, accepting and accept the situation, whether good or bad, and decide, basically be happy about it. Accept the situation, accept it, no matter what it is, accept it, and choose to have a good attitude about it. That's the idea. So, and that's basically all I had to say in this week's video. So again, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe, comment. I'd really be interested in hearing your comments, especially see what you have to say about this, hear what you think are good topics that I should speak about, and share so we can grow this channel. Thank you very much, and have a good day.